All beauty standards do is put the health of poor women at risk. Hello, everyone. My name is Lulu. I am bringing you today's message straight from my bedroom alongside my little guest companion who's actually staying with me for the week. Super exciting because I've never had a dog before, so babysitting has been honestly really awesome. And before you say anything, yes, it looks like the wall art in behind me is not like straight, but I promise you it is. It's just like nothing is going right. So even my tripod is like droopy, even though it's completely brand new, but it's whatever, right? It's not honestly like not that deep. So I'm not gonna let it stop me from filming. I do hope that you enjoyed today's episode and I would love to hear all of your opinions, but let's get into it. All beauty standards do is put the health of poor women at risk. I feel like it's also another method slash tool of creating even more divide against the classes. And you think I may be reaching, but there is a reason why I feel this way. And let me explain why this is. The harsh reality and truth, which is very unfortunate, is that we do treat people based off their appearances. If people don't look a certain way and don't look attractive, this can affect the jobs that they get, how they're treated at their jobs, the relationships they have, or if they even have a relationship with someone romantically. There's just so many different aspects of life where our appearances come into play. And the beauty standards every day just make it worse and worse and worse because they're getting even more unattainable, even more ridiculous, and we're all also starting to look the same. But on top of that, all of these things are expensive. There's 20-year-olds like me getting preventative filler, there's lip injections, there's buccal fat removal, there's different skin treatments. Shit, there's even eyelashes. Like I paid $130 for these eyelashes, which is so much money. And there is BBLs and there is boob jobs, just so many different like procedures, surgeries, and little maintenance things that we have to do as women in order to fit those standards or at least feel like we belong in society. Because let's be honest, a lot of people, if they don't find you attractive or they don't find you at least like acceptable in appearance, it's kind of like they think you don't deserve respect, you don't deserve friendships, you don't deserve love, you don't just like deserve basic human empathy. And online, I feel like this is very prevalent. Obviously, if you go outside and touch some grass, it's not always necessarily this way, but we've all seen the videos of girls who perhaps lose weight and they tell you how they were treated before when they were bigger versus now that they're skinny, or people who get plastic surgery and now everyone is like opening the door for them or giving them more free samples, or they're going into a store and like they're just getting compliments and phone numbers. Like, it can't be denied. The way that we look literally does affect our lives. The crazy shit, though, is that all of these things cost thousands of dollars. And a lot of us are struggling. Most people can't move out of their parents' homes. Most people can't pay their car bill. Most people can't pay their electricity bill. Most people just can't pay their bills, period. Like people are living paycheck to paycheck because there's so many things that are fucked up in the American economy, so many wages that aren't even livable. So, what happens when you feel all this pressure and all of these insecurities coming to you as a woman, but you don't have the funds to do it? Well, you go to what I call black market or underground beauty services, where you either try to do things yourself and you put yourself at risk, or you do it with people that aren't properly licensed, or there's different hustlers that come up and offer services that they're not licensed for, or that they'll pretend that they're licensed for, and they'll take advantage of certain ignorances that we have about health and procedures, and they'll make money out of us while putting us at risk. And that is why I'm saying if you're poor, beauty standards literally just put you at risk because you don't have the money to do things safely like rich women or women that are well off would. So it's more likely that you're going to end up botched or you're going to end up with health problems that are going to affect you for life or at least for a long time. Let's start with Botox. I feel like Botox has become so normalized these days that it's almost the same concept as going to your local Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and grabbing a drink. But at the end of the day, it's still a foreign substance being injected into your body that's just not natural to you. And once you start, it's hard to stop. And I feel like once you see the results too, you might not want to stop. But Botox can cost hundreds of dollars depending on the unit and depending on the location. And the most important thing is too is that the FDA only lets like licensed medical providers buy Botox, and there's really only one source of Botox that is FDA approved, and they're like, this is verified, this is good to go. So if you're able to get your hands on Botox, then you really don't know how safe it is or if the sourcing that the certain website or manufacturer is telling you is correct. And there seems to be some women doing their own Botox and doing their own injections, which can go severely wrong. Let's take a look at this video real quick so you can see what I'm talking about.
Into your skin. If you're nervous about doing it, get a friend to help you, okay? So you just go right in, right in, right in, right in, right in, right in there. Here, you're gonna grab this and you're gonna go straight in. Here, you're gonna grab this. 1, 2. You can feel the muscle. 1, 2. Here, you're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm not gonna lie, it burns. It stings a little, okay?
Woman in that video is literally doing her own Botox injections, even promoting a certain website where she gets it from, and even has a discount code for them. When you inject Botox into your face, and you need to know that Botox literally relaxes and paralyzes your muscle, which is the reason that it can get rid of these wrinkles, you can inject the wrong muscle and paralyze that muscle or part of your face for months. You can also have an allergic reaction to Botox, which is more rare, but still possible. And I feel like that's why it would probably be best to be under the medical supervision of someone. So at least if you do get an allergic reaction, they can do the proper thing or help you call 911. And there's also the risk of the injection or the Botox spreading to other parts of your faces and migrating where it shouldn't be. Now, those, are more rare risks, but when you're doing it yourself without any experience or without being a medical professional, it definitely can happen. I also looked into Cellmade because I was like, how is it that this company can allow consumers to just buy Botox like that when, at least in the US, Botox can only be bought by medical professionals or, people that the FDA approves and manufacturers that the FDA approves. So, Cellmade is a South Korean based company. And basically, the way that they can get around this, and this is where my business degree helped me to understand, but girl, it's still complicated because it's an international business. There is certain loopholes and certain things that they can do in order to ship, the Botox out to customers, but it's in the fine lines and within the shipping policy that if they ship something to you and it gets detained at customs, it's not on them. If there's any fines or anything legal, it's also not on them. So, ladies, if you buy this Botox and it gets detained at customs and you get questioned or you get fined, then they have nothing to do with it. It all falls on you, technically, at least per their policies. And even though this might be a reliable product, once again, do you really want to be doing this to yourself? And do you want to be putting yourself at the risk of getting a fine, which might cost more than the Botox and just leave you off worse than you were to start? The next thing is lip fillers. And much like Botox, lip filler is also another thing that the FDA does not just sell to anyone. You have to be licensed, and there are only a few manufacturers that are approved to sell it. And honestly, I've thought about getting lip filler before because personally, I do love a big lip. That's the truth. Of course, I don't think that if you don't have big lips that your lips are ugly or you're not beautiful. No, but I do love seeing a big plump lip. But then I saw the price of lip fillers and I was like, hell no, I'm just gonna stick to lip liners and lip gloss. But the thing with lip fillers too is that I feel like the risk is low key worse than Botox because you can get what is called necrosis, or basically death of the tissue or the skin. And I don't know if you've seen Botched or like anyone that's had necrosis, but it does not look good. And the thing is, too, it's like there's a lot of antibiotics, I believe, that you have to take, or you have to have a lot of medical intervention to even try to fix it if it is possible. So, if you're someone that's doing it on your own because you can't afford to go to a professional, can you really afford like the medical intervention that would be needed if this happened to you? So it's really something to think about twice, but it is something that's going on. This next thing I'm going to mention to you, I really hope is dying down and there's less people getting it because I feel like if anything, this is the riskiest out of all the things I'm mentioning today, and that is butt injections. Ever since the Kardashians appeared on the screens of Americans, butts have been the thing. I mean, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, honey. And that seems to be for real. I think it's better to go to the gym and get a booty than get injected or submit yourself to a BBL. But, you know, some people either don't want to go through the process or they want to get there a little bit faster. But butt injections are very, very, very dangerous if not done by a professional. And I mean, very. And let me tell you why. So, even a celebrity as famous as Cardi B has a little story about these butt injections. And this was before she was famous, mind you. So, if you didn't know, Cardi B was a stripper before, like she popped off. And she noticed that women at the club that were curvier and had, like, bigger assets were getting more tips and they were doing better. And Cardi B, if you didn't know, is very petite woman. So she decided that she needed to go ahead and get butt injections. So she got butt injections in the basement of a home in Brooklyn, I believe, for $800. And she was injected with illegal silicone, which cost her a lot of problems. And later on, she had to do a lot of like medical procedures in order to get 95% of it, I believe, removed. So this is not something that I recommend to you because luckily Cardi was, in a financial spot after at a certain point in her life where she could afford to get it removed. But a lot of people are not going to find themselves having a hit song and becoming one of the biggest rappers. So unless you are willing to pay all the money to get it resolved and you're willing to deal with the possible health consequences, this is another thing that you should not even take a look at. But it's one of those other things that I keep telling you, like poor people seem to get it worse when it comes to these beauty standards because people out of desperation will do anything in order to fit in.
I got my ass shots here in New York.
Okay. So,
Cause like to get your ass bigger, you need to do like lipo, take fat out your stomach and everything. I don't have no fat there. So I was like, yep.
how was it? Like, was it a scary experience for you or?
It wasn't such a scary experience until like I got on the table and like I felt so dizzy, like I was about to pass out and everything.
Like nowadays, people are trying to do it like a more, I guess you could say, a healthier way.
Yeah, do it healthy. If you can't do it, just don't do it because I don't really know what's in my ass right now. You know what I'm saying? I can't shoot birth control in my ass or nothing. Or I could die. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Did you get it done because you want to be more appealing to men, or is it because you see other women and you kind of want to be like the baddest bitch in the room?
Yeah, because it's like in the club, it's like you're almost invisible if you don't have like a big ass like that. And on top of that, like you just see that as a trend. It's like a trend. It's I don't want to sound like a hypocrite saying like, oh my gosh, you see all the girls on Instagram, they are winning with big asses. Because then again, there's a lot of small bitches that is winning. They just got a cute ass face.
Another case I found was of a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills who worked on a woman that also had these butt injections done illegally, and she was also injected with illegal silicone. Although, mind you, there is a lot of different illegal substances like cement. They can inject you with cement. Okay. And if you've watched Botched, there's literally been people on there that have gotten their face injected with cement, and it is not good for you. I mean, this particular woman I'm talking about right now, she felt like she was chronically getting sick. She had itching. She couldn't sit well. Her butt would literally leak. And this was all because of those injections. Now, thankfully, she was either in a position where she could get these removed, or perhaps the clinic did it as charity. I'm not sure, to be honest. It didn't clarify. And she did feel much better after getting them removed. But look at all of those things that it cost her. I mean, she even said that it was causing her brain fog. And chronic infections, do you really honestly want to be dealing with that? It's so much. And I hope my tone isn't coming off as like, why would you do that? Because that's not what I'm trying to convey. I'm just, if you are someone that's thinking about doing something like this and you are seeing this video, I just urge you to put yourself first, because you're beautiful. You don't need these things, and you deserve to be here for a long time, not looking hot and like dying within a week. You know what I mean? Like, you're beautiful. Just don't do it. And if you are someone though that has done this and you feel, you know, like you've been botched, or you're literally like sick or dying or stuff like that, you can sue, you know, or at least consult a lawyer, because just because you're the one that got these procedures and you consented to getting them, it doesn't necessarily put the other person off the hook. Like, there are still things that you can legally try and do to, you know, get justice or protect other people from these type of people that provide it. I feel like we all low-key want like white flashy teeth, you know, those pearly whites that Kali Uchis talks about in her song. But unfortunately, teeth naturally aren't white, at least not with the diets that we consume here. So, a workaround that people find for this are veneers. And veneers, basically, what happens is that you get enamel, or a light layer of enamel, removed from your teeth, and that is where veneers are placed. Veneers help to make your teeth look whiter, of course, or to make them look more straight, to fill in any gaps, chips, etc. So it is an aesthetical, you know, thing. And that being said, because it is aesthetics, it's considered a cosmetic procedure, which insurances don't cover. Getting veneers can literally cost up to $20,000 for a set, or thousands of dollars per, literally per tooth. So what happens when you can't pay $20,000 to have pearly whites? Well, some hustlers come in and they call themselves veneer techs. The most important thing to know is that veneer techs are not legally certified. It's not a real thing. They're just calling themselves that, but they literally have no legal ground or medical ground in order to be performing the things that they do. However, once again, I understand why someone would, you know, go to someone like this. I feel like teeth tend to be the biggest insecurity for a lot of people, even for people that don't necessarily think that they fall to the pressures of the beauty standards in society. So, you know, naturally, if you're insecure, you're gonna feel desperate and like you have to do something to get them done. And for a lot of people, it might never be attainable in their lives to pay $20,000 just to fix their teeth when they have other important things going on. But it sure as hell would give them, you know, confidence and happiness to feel like their insecurities are gone. So they go to people like this. And these veneer techs work out of their homes, out of their basements, and a lot of them take like, or took, at least when this was really popping off, like 2-day courses off another veneer tech, which is also a scam, and they paid that person like $2,000. Yes, I'm talking about Brendan Dillard, who is literally in about to go to jail, or if not already in jail, and he got hit with RICO charges. Um, Also performing without a dentistry license, performing without a medical license, I believe, was another thing. And yes, by RICO charges, I mean literally the same charges that Diddy got, because this dude literally made millions of dollars putting veneers on people, guys. Millions. One thing I've learned in my lifetime so far, especially as someone who has an autoimmune disease, is that the body is connected in every single way. Every single part of your body is there for a reason, and it's connected to another part of your body. It all works in tangent, and it's all a symbiotic, beautiful relationship. And your teeth and your mouth are very important to your health. And there is a lot of things that unexperienced people can fuck up and do wrong. I mean, think about it. Have you ever even felt like a little discomfort or sensitivity from cold and hot foods? Like, personally, I have, and it makes me want to, like, and I love to eat. So imagine, like, not being able to eat because, like, you literally can't handle temperature changes in your mouth. Like, that's something that a freaking veneer tech can mess up. They can also ruin your teeth even further, and a lot of things like that. There's a reason why dentists go to school for at least 8 years. They're not going there to play around and BS, you know? There's a huge, huge reason why they take this long to do it, because the mouth is very delicate. There is quite a science to it, and not just anyone should be touching your mouth. Now, yes, I know that things enter our mouths that perhaps we're not proud of, but veneer techs should not be one of them.
Not trying to be dramatic and I'm not trying to put down veneer techs, but like people are just not thinking 2 steps ahead because once these are on, who's going to take them off? Like this guy has decay all over his teeth and he got composite veneers placed right on top by a veneer tech. And I'm not hating on it because it's a pretty dramatic change, but yo, those are just plastered on top of decay. We don't do that. That can cause so many problems and infections. You will be hard pressed to find a real licensed dentist who can pick up a handpiece to remove these because it's just Pandora's box. So all these people who are getting composite veneers that will stain, I guarantee you, within 5 years, who's going to take them off for you? Because those same veneer techs are going to be nowhere to be found because they don't have a license to operate. They have no license. A veneer tech is not an actual certification. It's a made up certification. Because it's made up, they can't do the things that dentists do, like pick up handpieces and drill off old arts and crafts and take x-rays and make sure there are no cavities. They have no liability. To anyone who's had these composite veneers done, I honestly just feel bad because these are not easy to take off. Like you do not want some random person zooming in with their Dremel and just removing and hacking away without water, which can overheat the teeth if you're going at high speeds. They don't have the precision and experience with drilling to stop at enamel. This is just my warning to you guys. It's just a bad idea. It's not a good idea. This veneer tech thing might be the deal of a lifetime until 5 years later and you got to get it removed by a real dentist.
It gets worse though, because not only are there veneer techs, there are braces techs. And guys, braces are a medical, necessity. Oftentimes they fix, misalignments with your jaws, your teeth, and there is a medical reason for having them, not just an aesthetic one. So I would completely understand why someone would go to, maybe not a certified person or an underground type of service to get their braces done, because it is very expensive. And a lot of people too, I feel like, tend to get braces when they're younger. And if your teeth are messed up or you don't like how it is or you feel discomfort, of course you're going to want to fix it as soon as possible. Also, doubled with the fact that a lot of young people, can be bullied for their appearance and stuff like that. So I completely understand, but braces are even more complex than veneers, and these people are also doing it out of their homes. And this also points to like a bigger issue in the American health system, where something you literally need for your health still costs thousands of dollars, even though you're paying these high insurance premiums and you're still having to pay so fucking much for your healthcare. It's insane. And I'm sorry if it feels like I'm going on a rant, but it's just like, bro, I paid like $173 the other day for a filling for one tooth, and that was after insurance. So I completely don't blame anyone who is going underground to get these sort of procedures done. But once again, it can go wrong. They can fuck up your teeth even more. And especially with braces, yikes, like braces aren't an easy like thing to just do. And I heard there's like different racks and stuff that you have to start out with. And these people don't necessarily know that. They don't know how to look at the health of your teeth. They don't know how to look at the health of your jaw and do it so it fixes your problems. Let me show you this video.
This is why you don't go to people basement.
You can really just, I'm taking the whole thing off that easy. Like, pay over $400. This is like a toy.
Did you see how easily the braces fell off that woman's mouth? Like, guys, I bet you too that this woman, even though this is cheaper than getting braces at a dentist, it's still not a cheap amount by any means. She paid this person who did these for her all this money just for her to literally be able to pull them out of her mouth. So not only can they put you at risk, but they're also taking your hard-earned money and giving you a very subpar service. Insane. Please don't get braces. This is something that if you really need them, I do recommend saving up for it or finding other ways, but going underground might really not be the best thing because you're still gonna be spending your beautiful hard-earned money, and these people could leave you fucked up and making things worse for you in the near future. That's where I'm going to leave it off today in terms of, the different procedures and stuff that people are either doing at home or are being done illegally to people. And I just want to make it clear once again that I don't blame the women that are getting these things done. Everyone is struggling, the pressure is real, insecurities are very real. So I can't blame anyone for doing it. And I also low-key can't really blame the people that are providing the services because shit is hard and everyone's trying to hustle, everyone's trying to find a side gig. But your particular side gig is literally could like put someone's health at risk forever or fuck them up. I'm just saying. But it's clear that there is a problem here in America, not only with healthcare, but a lot of freaking things. And like I mentioned earlier, I feel like the beauty standards really only affect poor women because it's poor women getting these services done. It's poor women that are at the risk even more of these fuck ups. Rich women or well-off women, they can just get these procedures done safely without any pain. They can change their faces and their bodies with the changing tides, while poor women may forever be fucked up for a trend that only lasted a month or a few years. And call me crazy, but the reason why I was saying like, hey, this is like divisive or a method/tool to divide the classes is because if you're poor and your appearance can affect like the jobs that you get and how you're treated at your jobs, and even if you get promoted, how are you really supposed to move up in the world when you already have all of these other factors that are trying to keep you in the place that you are? And on top of that, you now have your physical appearance going against you, even though I bet you're like beautiful human, awesome, perfect, amazing, great personality. But you now have all of these things going for you. Whereas I feel like at least if you're rich, you already have it easy because you're rich. But now you can also have society treat you super well on top of being rich because, you're freaking attractive. And I feel like this low-key is going to prove my point if I'm right. But a lot of people might not even click or watch this video because in the thumbnail, I might not appear attractive to them, or I might not appear presentable because, my hair is messy. I'm in pajamas. I'm not in some professional room. Even the way that our environment looks is conducive to how people treat and view us. And that's why I think it's like another tool, especially when once poor women find their ways around these standards, it just keeps getting higher and the bar keeps getting moved up and it keeps getting crazier and crazier and more expensive things keep coming out. Of course, I do have hope for the world, or at least I'm trying to, because the world is really shitty right now. And it feels like there's a lot of evil people and things are going horribly wrong. And beauty honestly probably should be the last of our worries because like the earth is low-key dying, and if the earth dies, so do we with it. But sorry, that's like, it's just crazy. I just really hope that we can fix that, but also I hope that we can fix like a lot of the problems that we have within our society, and that maybe we can start to realize that beauty truly isn't everything. Because, for example, the one thing that all humans have in common, which is death, death does not discriminate, death does not give two fucks about beauty. We are all really one and the same, but that's a concept that billions of people don't seem to understand. But anyways, thank you if you made it to the end of this video, to the end of this rant. I truly hope that you took something today out of this. And if not, I hope you were at least entertained. I'm not sure. But have a great night or a great morning. Just know that you are amazing how you are. And there's more things out there that matter other than how we look. Until next time. Bye.